We are happy to have an endowment lecture today, and we welcome the speaker, Dr. Sujata Mohan. She is a professor of Natya and also Sanskrit in Dr. MGR Janaki College in Adyar. She has come to our institute quite a few times. She has also participated and presented a wonderful lecture cum demonstration in the seminar that we conducted a few years ago. And we have been waiting to call her for quite some time. And this endowment in the name of Srinivasa Tatacharya has made it possible to invite her, because this endowment is made exclusively for dance and music, and it was instituted by Mrs. Sarayu Srinivasan over 25 years ago, 1996 to be precise. And we have been inviting scholars in the field of dance and music every year to give lecture under this endowment. And we have got also, for example, from Assam, from Bangalore, from Delhi, like that. There have been many scholars and performers, not only from Bharatanatyam background, but also Kuchipudi and other forms of ancient Indian theatre. And today we have got Dr. Sujata Mohan, who is also one of the highly respected performers as well as scholar in this field. And Dr. Sujata Mohan is a postgraduate in Sanskrit from Madras University. Also, she is a postgraduate holder from Shastra University in Fine Arts. Then she did her PhD in Natya Shastra. And she has been a disciple of Dr. Padma Subramaniam, who does not require any introduction for the connoisseurs in the field of arts. And Dr. Padma Subramaniam, thanks to her, we owe to her for the popularity of Bharatanatyam, not only in India, but also in so many countries. And Dr. Sujata Mohan is also one of the senior disciples of Dr. Padma Subramaniam. What is so interesting is she has learnt all the 108 Karanas from her guru, both theory and practice. I have seen some of these being performed, or at least most of them being performed by, I think, Swarnamukhi, who was the Asthana Vidushi in Madras Legislative Assembly in our by Dr. MGR, was the chief minister at that time. So I have seen Swarnamukhi performing all these things. And Dr. Sujata Mohan is also an expert in this. And not only that, she has trained many of her students in this, both in theory and practice of the 108 Karanas that are given in the Natya Shastra. I think it's a very rare thing. So we should appreciate her at least for this. And Dr. Sujata Mohan has performed in many sabhas in Chennai, in all parts of India, and also in various countries of this globe. And her students are now shining, and they have also performed in many sabhas in Chennai and outside. That shows the prowess of the teacher. And she has been training quite a lot of students under her own banner, Padma Shri Nrityalaya, which she started around 1997, I think. Presented papers in national and international seminars, for example, in the World Sanskrit Conference in Thailand, and subsequently in Vancouver in Canada. And she has been conferred with many titles. There are numerous titles to be mentioned, and she is also the recipient of the Government of India Ministry of Culture fellowship from them for studying the visualization of Kalidasa's dramas. So she is a multifaceted personality in the field of dance and music, and we are very happy to have her today to give a lecture on Sangeeta Muktavali. I think Sangeeta Muktavali was written by Devanacharya. I hope I am right. And it was published by the Tanjavur Saraswati Mahal Library. Maybe there are some other publications, and it is devoted to, the name is misleading. Sangeeta we generally identify with music, but I think it talks of many things in dance also. Particularly, I am not that I am good in other subjects, but my entry into this subject is very less. This is not my cup of tea, so I don't enter into it. And once again, on behalf of the Kuppuswamy Shastri Research Institute, I welcome Dr. Sujata Mohan, and I also welcome all the listeners for this lecture. And on behalf of the Institute, we are thankful to Mrs. Nandini Ramani, the torchbearer of Bharatanatyam for a long time. Part of the country. She has also performed all over India and many countries. It was she who got this endowment for us some 25 years ago. We are thankful to her also. She is one of the senior most disciples of Bala Saraswati. So thanks to Srimati Nandini Ramani also. And once again, I welcome Dr. Sujata Mohan, and I request her to give her lecture on Sangeeta Muktavali in Prayoga. Over to Dr. Sujata Mohan, please.
Namaskaram. My namaskarams to all the scholars present here. First of all, I thank Kuppuswamy Shastri Research Institute President Dr. R.K. Raghavan, former Director, CBI, and former High Commissioner to the Republic of Cyprus. I also thank Dr. V. Kameshwari, Director, Dr. Sita Sundaram, Secretary, and Dr. K.S. Balasubramaniam of KSRI for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Hope I do my best in this lecture, whatever I want to share it. I've just started my research on the dance aspect of Sangeeta Muktavali, and I'm very grateful that I've been in the family of Sanskrit. My ancestors, my grandfather, Sri Narayana Swami Shastri, who was working in Adiyar Library, Theosophical Society, and his cousin brother is Sri T.R. Chintamani, and coming from their lineage, I've been taking up the Sanskrit from my young age. But because of my interest in dance, I had a slight deviation. So my guru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, had put me on to Sanskrit. When I finished my school, I came and joined BA Sanskritam in Queen Mary's College. And the inputs given by her in inculcating the language Sanskrit along with the dance made me go into the subject deeper And when I joined MA and MPhil at Presidency College, Dr. Tyagarajan sir was there to guide me and help me. And he was insisting me to take the subject dance from Sanskrit sources for my dissertation. Though I was hesitant because at that time I was just a practitioner of dance and a student of Sanskrit. But because of his inputs given by him, I just slowly started studying the Sanskrit texts on dance, and slowly, after completing that, I also got a degree in Bharatanatyam. And when I registered for my PhD in Kanchipuram, Sri Chandrasekharendra Saraswati Vishwa Mahavidyalaya, under Professor Srinivasu, I could take up the topic Gati in Natya, theory and practice. And my guide, Dr. Abhirama Sundaram, he also told me that this topic will be very useful in parlance with the theory and practice of Natya. And as a practitioner of dance, and I had to give my full interest in dance and theatre, Sanskrit department. So I took the topic on theatre, where I could take the dramas of Kalidasa and others and go on in the topic of Gati, where the gait, how the movement will be, as we have many scholars who have written on the practice, theory and practice of Sanskrit dramas. I went into the practical presentation of that. As it was given, how to move, where to move, but how do you perform that? And that became my PhD, where I could combine and integrate the chapters of Natya Shastra. The fourth chapter of Natya Shastra being the chapter on Karanas, which my guru had already done her research. And my chapter was the 13th chapter on Gati Prachara, where the Gati for the theatre and Gati for dance. So Nritta Gati, Natya Gati, Nritya Gati, all these were my forte of presentation. And how these Karanas or the dance forms given in the text of Natya Shastra will be able to fit in the Gatis given by Bharata himself, explained by Abhinava in Abhinava Bharat. So thus, I took up that topic, and as I had worked on the fellowship for Kalidasa's dramas, Bharata's visualizing Kalidasa's Drishya Kavyas through Bharata's Natya Shastra. So each and every Drishya Kavya of Kalidasa was compared and visualized from the view of Bharata. How Bharata has taken up all the chapters of Natya Shastra, Rasa, Bhava, Abhinaya, Dharmi, Vrittik, Pravrittayaha, Siddhihi, Swaraha, Tata, Atodyam, Ganam, Rangascha, Sangraha. The Sangraha of Natya Shastra and all the chapters on Rupakas, Sandhi, Sandhyangas, all these when presented as Natya, as a drama, Nataka by Kalidasa, how he has taken all these elements of Bharata's Natya Shastra. So that was one of my work earlier. And for so long I've been, I worked on Sangeeta Ratnakara in a very, very small way for my MA in Bharatanatyam for a dissertation. And my guru, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, used to tell me to work on Sangeeta Muktavali. Though I knew from sir that earlier there has been research done on Sangeeta Muktavali, but I thought of taking it up from the dance and particularly practical side of dance. That was my idea, and when I got a fellowship from Kalakshetra, I spoke about this subject to Srimati Revati Ramachandran, and she was very happy. And then I started my work. Though I had got this book so many years back, I was keeping it in my library and always reading and enjoying the text. Then I've started working just for the past 2 months. I've been working on that. So I thought I will give an introduction into it, insight into it, so that whatever I do, I will also be able to adapt and continue and work on the topic based on the inputs given by other scholars. And today I am planning to take this lecture in 3 stages. One is Natya, introduction. How this Natya is to be taken up from the literature point of view. Second, the post-Bharata Sanskrit works on Natya, Sangeeta, Nritya, all these. Because the terms, there is an evolution of the understanding of the terms from the period of Natya Shastra till 18th century. Then finally, I move on to Sangeeta Muktavali, which is the core concept of this presentation. So as you all know, Natya is an audio-visual dramatic art from which drama, music and dance has branched out as different forms of entertainment. Bharatanatyam is one of the classical old dance form practiced in Tamil Nadu, and it has its space in Bharata's Natya Shastra. It has the base from Natya Shastra. Maybe through the other texts, evolution through the other texts of later centuries. Bharata is the foremost among the authors on Natya, and he has formulated Natya as a Shastra. Though this Shastra codifies the learning of this art, it is only learned through Guru Parampara. Even the scholars follow their preceptors while writing a book, but at times they vary and bring out their own opinion also. Considering Bharata as their guru, many scholars have written books on Natya, Nritta, Sangeeta and allied arts. Bharata says, Nritta is that which imparts beauty and splendor, and it is generally liked by everyone in the world. And it is also auspicious. So dance can be employed as an amusement, and occasions are like marriage, birth of children, and other events of joy. Thus, Nritta became ancillary to Natya, the dramatic performance. So the overall dramatic performance was interspersed with Nritta in many places, and especially in the Purvaranga as a prayer. This Nritta became the prayer Preeti for the gods in the Purvaranga. And Bharata says, dance should be employed in all the occasions which are giving us the mood of happiness. And there are many references from the Sanskrit texts. Dance is one among the 64 arts. And many Sanskrit texts tell about the dance form of Nritta, Natya, and it is referred in as synonymous in the Amarakosham as Tandavam, Natanam, Natyam, Lasyam, Nrityam cha Nartane. So from the Vedic period, epic period and classical period, dance and drama has come through an uninterrupted stream. As we all know, Vedas reveal a good knowledge of dance. In Rig Veda, the reference of the term Nrit is seen. The word Nritu occurs in the sense of a female dancer to whom goddess Ushas is compared to. The Apsaras and Gandharvas, whose profession was dancing and singing, have found mention in the works. The Vajasane Samhita of Shukla Yajurveda makes a mention of the term Nritta and Gita. It says Suta is employed for dance and Sailusha for music. In Atharva Veda also there is a mention about Nrit. The Upavedas, the Gandharva Veda, is the science of music which embraces a wide sphere of dancing, singing, acting, playing on instruments, etc. And the Brahmanas, the Kaushitaki Brahmana, sacrificial priests are described as dancing. It also says Sangeeta forms a part of Yajna. Shilpa is described as dance, vocal and instrumental music in Kaushitaki Brahmana and Sankyayana Brahmana. In the Shatapatha Brahmana, Apsaras are referred to as dancing and singing. In the Taittiriya Brahmana, we get reference to Vamshanartinam, in which Shayana explains as Vamshagra Nritta Jivanam, one who has his livelihood by dancing on the pole end, acrobatic. Even now we have that acrobatic form of dance when one dances on the pole end, on the top of the pole. And there are many sutras which also tell about the dancing girls to go to the bride's village in a procession from the bridegroom's village. Where the groom's party reaches the bride's village, the girls from the boys' side form lines and join up with the girls and on the bride's side, and they all dance together. The songs and music accompany this dance. This ceremony is prescribed only in the text called the Sutra of Sankyayana Sutra. The passages from the Apastamba Dharma Sutra says that the women possessed a complete knowledge of all the subjects. And itihasas, coming to itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata have influenced all the Hindu art forms through the ages. Ramayana refers to Nata, Nartaka, Gayaka, etc. And during the description of the royal entertainments provided by the sage Bharadwaja to Bharata and his army, there is a reference of dance and music, Apsaras as dancers, and even in the Kishkinda Kanda, there is a reference in the Sundara Kanda. While describing Ravana's harem, there is a reference to women performing dance and instrumental music. And of course, in Mahabharatam, also there are references to the term Nritta, Gita, Vaditra, Nartaka, Nata, Gayaka, etc. And the work mentions that the Gandharvas and the Apsaras delighted the priests in the intervals of their sacrificial rites by the art of dance and music. And we are told how Arjuna learned the art of dance from Chitrasena. And the Purana period also, the Markandeya Purana and other Puranas refer to dance and music. In Vayu Purana, Shiva is referred to as one who is fond of dance. And Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, though it is a later Purana, it talks about the whole aspect of architecture, sculpture, painting, dance and music. And dance and dramaturgy are expansively explained in the chapters starting from 20 to 34. And then we come to the Shastras. Already the Shastras, the Sutras, Nata Sutras by Shilalin and Krishashva are mentioned. And Panini mentions that at the time of Mahavrata Stoma, right, this dancing was performed, and the art of dancing was confined to ladies alone in the period of Patanjali. Then we have Manusmriti, references of dance in Manusmriti, and many other texts from the later period. And thus, there are evidence for music, dance, mime, and dialogues are found in Vedas, Puranas, Samhitas, and many other Shastras. And now we come on to Natya Shastra, which is approximately dated from 2nd century BC to 2nd century AD. As we all know, Bharata's Natya Shastra is the earliest extant literature, and it not only talks about dance, it has all the aspects of Natya, which is a holistic form. Dance, dramatics, poetics, music, architecture. As he gives the Sangraha Shloka in the 6th chapter of Natya Shastra, he moves on to explain from Rasa, 6th chapter, Bhava, 7th chapter, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, Angika Abhinaya. Then from 15th, Vachika Abhinaya, then the Kakshya Vibhaga and Pravritti in between. Then from 20th, he starts explaining the Dasharupakas, the Nataka element, 20, 21, 22, Sandhi, Sandhyangas, Vrittis, then Aharya Abhinaya in 23, and then 24th, Samanya Abhinaya, which is a combination of Angika, Vachika and Satvika. And Chitra Abhinaya, which is also essential for the dramatists and the dancers. Then the Siddhi, success of the performance. And he moves on to the music chapters. Dhruva, the chapters on Dhruva, chapters on Atodhya, Swara, and finally the Prakriti Vidhana. The chapters of characterization, Bhumika Vikalpa. What are the roles to be taken and how the actors are to be prescribed for those particular roles. And finally, the Natya Avatara, how Natya came to the Bhumi. So that is the holistic nature of Natya Shastra. And this Natya Shastra is an extant work, and there are many commentaries. Of course, we have lost many of the commentaries. And finally, we have the commentary of Abhinava Gupta now available, Abhinava Bharati. And he has given the inputs of other commentators such as Kohala, Matrugupta, Kirtidara, Ubbata, Rahulaka, etc. And later Bharata has told that there is a work by Kohala, and those are also only referred to in Abhinava Bharati in bits and pieces, but the work is not available. Abhinava Gupta, a Kashmiri scholar of 11th century, wrote this commentary on Bharata's Natya Shastra called Abhinava Bharati. And this commentary talks about the stage of development, of course, the expansive idea of Bharata's Natya Shastra. How Natya Shastra was revealed to Bharata in the sutra form. Of course, in some chapters of Rasa Adhyaya, we have the prose form also. But Abhinava has explained, and for us, the dramatists and the dancers, the chapters on Angika Abhinaya has been explained by Abhinava, and the connectivity between the chapters is given by Abhinava. That is how we understand the aspects of Anga Pratyanga, Upanga, Chari, Mandala in the presentation of Karanas, Angaharas, etc., and how to combine this and present it as a Prayoga. And this Bharata's Natya Shastra has been taken as a source work on dance and music. And the later scholars, now I move on to the second section of how the post-Bharata scholars started working on the aspects of Natya. The many scholars considered Bharata's presentation Shastra as Marga Shastra, the traditional Shastra. And they have included the Marga Shastra in their work. And they have also added the Deshi elements. It might be the classical element or the folk element, but they are all regional forms prevalent in their own region at that particular century when they wrote the books. So thus, these Deshi Shastras, Deshi elements were also included by the scholars in their work after giving credit to the Marga Shastra of Bharata. So they covered a particular part of Natya. As we all know, Natya is a holistic form, but they were not covered all the aspects like Bharata. They have taken up particular things. As when we research, our gurus or scholars say that, okay, this part has been researched by somebody. So you take another part from this section. Even if I'm taking the whole same Sangeeta Muktavali, I'm going to take it from the Prayoga point of view. Even though I'm taking the same Gati from the theatre movement, how the movement Gati was employed in the theatre, how the Sanskrit drama was performed with the Gati, I will be taking from the practical point of view. So all these views were different from various scholars. So they have referred to the various aspects of Natya and they have zeroed in a particular way and moved on to elaborate that particular concept. And now the term Sangeeta is referred to as Tauryatrika, the combination of Gita, Vadya, Nrityam, Trayam, Sangeetam Uchyate. So the scholars started working on different concepts having the term Sangeeta in mind. And there were the Deshi concepts. Matanga's Brihad Deshi was the first text which spoke about the Deshi elements of music and, of course, dance. This is dated around 7th to 8th century, and this described the Deshi dance called Jakkini, which has been later popularized by some Deshi dancers. This text itself has the name Brihad Deshi. And later, after 8th century, we have so many works. The text called Sangeeta Makaranda. This is a work on music and dance by Narada. And this is dated around 7th to 9th century. And this text also has chapters on Sangeeta, especially Nritya Adhyaya, the Lakshanas of Natyashala, Sabha, Vidvat, Kavi, Gayaka, Itihasa, Jyotisha, Vaidya. See, all these are also included here. Puranika, Sabhapati, Nata, and Patra, and the dance forms such as Pushpanjali. And the Tala varieties such as Panchatala. According to Natya Shastra, we have the two talas, Chanchatputa and Chachaputa. So later forms have elaborated on that. In this, like that, we have the text, Dasharupaka by Dhananjaya, and this deals with the specific varieties of Rupakas, the 10 varieties of Rupaka in a detailed manner. And of course, the Uparupakas, which were minor dramatic dance forms, which were popularized after the Rupakas, maybe after around 8th century to maybe 16th century, 15th century, because there are many texts which talks about Uparupakas, connecting them with the Rupaka. As we have a scope in the Rupaka of Bharata's mention of Rupakas in Natya Shastra itself. Though there are only 10 varieties of Rupakas, Bharata gives a mention of Nati, Nati or Natika, which is specified as a form, which is a combination of Nataka and Prakarana. He says, but he does not mention that it is a Uparupaka or any form. So maybe taking that as a source, this Natika, Prakaranika, all these Uparupakas would have formed. And these Uparupakas have a mention in Dasharupa, and the chapters on Bhava and Rasa are explained here, and the varieties of Nayaka and Nayika, which are very useful dramatists and the dancers. So thus, this text of Dasharupaka gave importance to the 20th chapter of Natya Shastra. How it was dealt by Bharata was transformed for the present, for that particular century period. Then we have Bhava Prakasha of Sharada Tanaya, which belonged to the later 12th century. Around the Bhava, Rasa, Rupakas, Uparupakas are all explained, and these Uparupakas form the base for the present day classical and folk dances. And we all know, as we have so many Uparupakas, Dandarasaka, Natyarasaka, still now we have Dandiya Ras, still now we have in Manipuri, we have the Ras Leela, and these have all given space to the Deshi classical and folk forms. Even the Kolatam, we have the same form of Dandarasaka. So these are mentioned, and the Deshi dances, like Deshi dance forms are also mentioned. Some of the dance forms in Bhava Prakasha. Then we move on to Manasollasa. It is written by Someshwara, the Hoysala ruler, and this text also has a Nritya Adhyaya, which mainly deals with the Deshi style of dancing, which was popular during that time. He mentions about the Deshi Karanas and other than the Margi Karanas mentioned by Bharata. And the entire section for dance and music is given in this text. And he has improvised the new version of the Deshi dance forms to Karnataka style. Even the Karnataka form of music has formed from after the period of Manasollasa. And next we move on to Bharatarnava. Bharatarnava is a text by Nandikeshwara. It is, of course, the whole text consists of nearly 4,000 verses, and there are different elements which are very, very unusual. The Angaharas, which are very different from Bharata's Angaharas. Bharata's Angaharas are combinations of Karanas. But here, Nandikeshwara has given the Angaharas based on the Rasa, the Sringara Rasa, based on the different Karuna Rasa, the Veera Rasa, Adbhuta Rasa. The Angaharas are formed. And the Shringa Natyam, which is very, very unusual Natyam, which is performed by Shiva at the request of Parvati during the spring festival, is mentioned here in this text. And the Deshi Natya varieties are mentioned here in the text. And the other Deshi forms of Natya, namely Peruni, Krenkani, Kundali, Dandika, etc., are also explained. And then we have Sangeeta Ratnakara, which is a very, very famous text of Sharngadeva, which talks about 7 chapters. In 7 chapters, 6 chapters are devoted for music. Here we see the difference. 6 chapters are for music and only 1 chapter for dance. But that 1 chapter is very, very, very elaborate. And this chapter follows Abhinavagupta's view on Natya Shastra. If you see Abhinavagupta's as a prose work, Sangeeta Ratnakara is a poetical work based on Abhinava's version of explanation of Natya Shastra. And this is, of course, a 13th century work. And here also, there is a controversy between the text, the Nandikeshwara, the author of Abhinaya Darpana, which is might be earlier or later. Still the scholars debate because of the one shloka, Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya, Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam, Aharyam Chandra Taradi, Tamnumas Satvikam Shivam. This is the invocatory verse for Abhinaya Darpanam and the invocatory verse for this Sangeeta Ratnakara Nrittadhyaya. So, some scholars say that this has been taken from Abhinaya Darpana by Sharngadeva, and some scholars say that Sharngadeva's time is clear. So, the Darpana literature came later. Darpana is a mirror which came later, after the dark period in the 13th and 14th century, where we have lost almost all the arts and craft during that time. So maybe it was Abhinaya Darpanam was a later text later to the dark period. So this Abhinaya Darpanam has been a very, very prominent text which has been in vogue in South India, especially in Tanjavur, especially the dancers, from the dancers' point of view. It is a very, very simple, easy text which elaborates on the Hasta varieties, especially the Hasta varieties. Though he says Abhinaya Darpanam, it does not deal with Angika, Vachika, Aharya, Satvika. No, he just mentions all these 4, but he moves on to Angika, and even in that Angika, he specifies the Hasta varieties, and in the Hasta varieties, he has included the Sashavatara Hasta, Bandhava Hasta, Jatiya Hasta, which are his creativity, which he has done, which is not seen in Natya Shastra. Thus, this text has been just a short text with 324 slokas, and this is a very, very interesting text which gives only the Deshi elements of the Gati, Deshi elements of the Charis, Deshi movements, Brahmanas, Utplutis, etc. And thus, this chapter are very, very comfortably taken by the dancers. So, we have the Nritta Ratnavali, which is an interesting text by Jaya Senapati. And this is also almost the same period of Sangeeta Ratnakara. And this Nritta Ratnavali has all the 8 chapters on dance. This Nritta Ratnavali concentrates only on the chapters of dance. Of course, there are some chapters which talk about the music, swaras and talas, but generally it gives the Marga period of dance, and he transfers to the Deshi period of dance. So we can get both in this, as in Sangeeta Ratnakara. Sangeeta Ratnakara also, he gives the Marga period and the Deshi period of dance. And Sangeeta Samaya Sara by Parshvadeva, later text, is also very, very prominent text. And other texts like Sangeeta Damodara by Shubhankara, 15th century text, and the Natya Darpanam text, which talks about Natya Darpana. It is interesting. It says Natya Darpana, but the text talks about Bhava, Rasa, Abhinaya in general, and specifies the Uparupakas and the Natya Rasaka varieties of Uparupakas. Many varieties of Uparupakas. It is not talking about the Natya, the present, like as in Abhinaya Darpana, the Anga, Upanga, Pratyanga, Chari, mandala, like this. And the work by Chatura Damodara, the Sangeeta Darpana of 16th century, and this is also must be written after the dark period. And we have Pundarika Vittala's work of 16th century, Nartana Nirnaya, is a very beautiful work which talks about Tala Dhatra Prakaranam, Mridanga Prakaranam, Gayaka Prakaranam, Nartaka Prakaranam, and Nartana Adhikara contains the Abhinayas, Dharmis, Chitra Abhinaya, Bhava, Rasa, Angika Abhinaya, etc. Anga, Pratyanga, Sthana, Chari, Karana, etc. And we have Kumbhakarna Deva's Nrityaratna Kosha, which also talks about the Deshi Kuttanacharis, which are like Adavus, present day Adavus of Bharatanatyam, and we also have the same Adavu types in Kuchipudi and other forms of dance. And we have the Sangeeta Narayanam of Gajapati Narayana Deva of 18th century, which talks about Natya Nirnaya with 824 verses on dance. The Angas, Upangas, Pratyangas, Charis, and the Angaharas in a very brief manner. And last, and the text which is of 18th century of King Tulaja, Sangeeta Saramrita. Though we have not got the whole text as such, this talks about the present day Adavus in the same, almost the same names, which is like Tattadavu, Kanakpada Kuttanam Adavu, Natti Tattadavu, Parshva Kuttanam, Digi Digi Adavu, Pada Parshva Kuttanam Adavu, Upplutothanam. All these are mentioned as the Adavus which we follow in the present day South Tamil Nadu Bharatanatyam form of dance. But these names are different in the forms of present day Adavus, which has been slightly after the Sangeeta Saramrita. We all know from the dance point of view, Tanjavur Quartet, who modified the names and brought the Tamil names for the Adavus, like Tattadavu. After Tattadavu, Nattadavu, we have the Visikkal Adavu, we have the Meet Adavu, we have the Kuttadavu. In Sanskrit, it is Kuttadavu. In Tamil, it is Kuttu. When we Kuttu, do the Kuttudal, Kudittu Mettu Adavu, Mettadavu. All the terms were modified a little bit by the Tanjavur Quartet, and Adavus were formatted, and that is what we follow in the style of Bharatanatyam till our present day. So now we move on to the third aspect of Sangeeta Muktavali. So as we all know, Sangeeta Muktavali, this work of Devanacharya of Vijayanagar of 15th century, this deals mainly with the aspects of dance and brings in the musical elements very briefly. In this topic called Abhinaya Nirnaya, he starts the first, it is not chapterized, it is only section based. The whole slokas are in different sections. So this Abhinaya Nirnaya is one of the sections which talks about all the 4 Abhinayas. The invocatory verse, after the invocatory verse, it's a beautiful invocatory verse, and I would like to just recite the invocatory verse, which says, Vande Ganga Shashankanchita Manimakutam Chandrakanto Jwalabham Divyalankarakantam Nayana Sukhakaram Kanti Sandohagatram Raka Chandrasya Shobham Pranata Shubhakaram Sevitam Devasangait Devam Karunya Sindhum Shivam Akila Jagannatham Ishtartha Siddhaye. This is a beautiful invocatory verse, of Sangeeta Muktavali, which is on the Lord of Shiva, who is the Natya, Nataraja, and Jagannatha. And this Abhinaya Nirnaya talks about Abhinaya. He says, when Nata exhibits the story or the Nataka of Rama and others on stage, that is called Abhinaya. Here he almost takes the term Natya and Abhinaya as synonyms. He moves on to the concept of Abhinaya, Angika, Vachika, Aharya and Satvika. Again, in the place of Satvika, he explains the 8 Satvika bhavas, and in the place of Aharya, he gives the details of Aharya, the varieties of Aharya, as in Natya Shastra. And the Vachika is not explained in a very detailed manner like in Natya Shastra. He moves on to Angika. The Angika is a very, very detailed explanation. He specifies that the dance performed by women is called Lasya. And the dance performed, Uddhata performed by men is called Tandava. See, earlier in Natya Shastra, it was told that Tandava is the dance form. It can be performed as Uddhata Prayoga or Sukumara Prayoga. And Parvati performed the Sukumara Prayoga of Tandava or Nritta. And in the chapter of Lasyangas, in the chapter of Dasharupaka, Bharata says that Lasya Angas, these are the Angas of Lasya, which are to be performed by a woman, by a lady, in solo dance form, in the midst of a drama. And that is called Lasya Anga. So he gives 10 to 12 forms of Lasya Anga, which are connected with solo dance by a lady dancer or an actor, which has to be interspersed in the Nataka. He talks about this after talking about Bana and Viti Anga, because Bana talks about one-man show and Viti has so many Angas. So after talking about Bana and Viti, he says these Lasya Angas are the Angas of Lasya, which also have so many Angas like 10 to 12, and these are also performed by single women as a dance form, which also relates to the Shringara element. But the concept of Lasya Anga is different in the Deshi school of thoughts. So here clearly specifies in this text, Sangeeta Muktavali, the performance of male is Tandava, the performance of female is Lasya. And he says, he moves on to the concept of Samanya Abhinaya immediately. He combines the Angika, Vachika and Satvika elements, and he gives a few ideas of Ankura, Shaka, Sucha, Nivritti Ankura, and Natyayita, Vachya, etc., which are connected with Natya and Vachika Abhinaya and the Angika Abhinaya element, along with the Satvika Abhinaya. So these are explained, and little bit of Chitra Abhinaya varieties. Explanation of how to present the seasons, different seasons, how to present the ritus are also explained in this Abhinaya Nirnaya. And all these are condensed form, as we see in from Natya Shastra. So then he moves on to what is Nritta and Nritya. Bhavashrayam Nartanam hi Nrityam ityabhidiyate. That which is Bhava, which has Bhava. Yat Tala Laya Nishpannam Nartanam Nrittam iti iritam. So the definition for Nritya and Nritta are given, and he moves on to the Deshi Nritta varieties called Prerana, Prenkana, Gundali and Dandarasakam. These are the 4 varieties mentioned by many scholars of post-Bharata till almost 17th century, because these must have been prevalent during that time. Then he talks about the Angas, the major limbs of the body, 6 major limbs, Pratyangas, the subsidiary limbs of the body like neck, the Udara, Uru, Janga become the Pratyanga, subsidiary limbs. Shiro, Hasto, Uraha, Parshva, Kati, Pada, Shadangal. They are the major limbs. And Netra, Bru, Nasa, Adara, Kapola, Chipukani, Upangani. These are the Upangas of the minor limbs. And he follows the same pattern of Natya Shastra. He starts, but the presentation is different. According to Natya Shastra, 8th chapter talks about Uttamanga Abhinaya, the head and the minor limbs of the head. But here, it is different. And the 9th chapter now of Natya Shastra talks about the Hasta Abhinaya. 10th chapter of Natya Shastra talks about the Sharira Abhinaya. But here, he moves on from Shira. Then he moves to Hasta, Abhinaya Hastas. Then he moves about to Nritta Hastas, the varieties of Hasta for Abhinaya and Nritta. Then he moves on to the Angas one by one, starting from the chest, all the Angas are mentioned first. Then he moves on to explain the Pratyangas. Then he moves on to explain the Upangas. And in Upangas, he specifies the Rasadrishti and Bhavadrishti, which is given by Bharata. Bharata mentions the Rasadrishti and Bhavadrishti, 8 Rasadrishtis, 8 Bhavadrishtis, and 20 Vyabhichari Bhavadrishtis. Same way, he has also given almost the same explanation for all the Drishtis seen here. Thus, he moves on to Angas, from Angas to Pratyangas and to Upangas. So that is the difference seen in different texts from Natya Shastra to the later texts. These are like notes. When we start learning, what do we learn? We learn these and then the next chapter, like this. But according to Bharata, it is more a Shastra. So now he moves on to the sthanas. What are the sthanas? Sthanas are more static positions of the body. And in this sthana, he mentions the Marga sthanas and the Deshi sthanas. The sthanas which are given by Bharata and the sthanas which are prevalent during his period. Again, charis, the whole leg movements. Ekapada pracharastu charitya vidiyate. The whole leg movement from the thigh to the toe is called a chari. Bhumicharis, Akashacharis are mentioned by Bharata. The same charis are given, explained, and he also adds the Deshi Chari varieties. So these Deshi Charis are still seen in the Deshi forms of some Perani dancers, some Yakshagana dancers, even some Terukuthu dance forms. There are many Deshi forms of Charis seen in different dance forms. So these Deshi forms are mentioned, and these Deshi forms, in these, he mentions one term called Padakuttanachari. Padakuttanachari. This is, you either stamp it with your toe or with your heel or with your pada, the whole sole. So this is called as Maddipu. Maddipu by him. This is termed in different texts as Mudupachari, Madupachari, Maddupachari, Maddipuchari. All these names are seen in, maybe because of different manuscripts. They are, now we have the term Adavu, Adugu. All these terms are the present day terms for these Pada Kuttanachari. He says, Nikuttanam tu Padena Tadanam tu Mahitale. Mahitale. But when the feet is struck on the floor. So that is how we have got all these varieties of adavus. Though he has not mentioned any term adavu, of course I will read again and again and get back if there is any new ideas in this text. But all these are connected with the present day adavus. And there are vyayamas which are to be practiced as warm-up exercises. And these are called Shrama Lakshanam. Shrama Vidhi. Shrama Vidhi is mentioned in Sangeeta Ratnakara, in Nritta Ratnavali, and also in Sangeeta Saramrita, where the practice procedure, how to practice, how to learn the dance, when to learn the dance, all these are also given accordingly to his, based on his period. And then he moves on to the Gati Veda, Gati varieties based on Nritta Gati and Rasa Gati. He talks about the gait, the movement based on Rasa and the movements based on Nritta, dance forms. And then the 108 Karanas, which are combination of Sthanas, Charis, Angas and Pratyangas. And all these Karanas are given with Vinyoga. This is what I have noted down, the difference between Bharata's Karanas. So though the names are same, the order is changed in different stages of performance. Abhinava Bharati follows Bharata except for the explanations. Abhinava Bharati gives more explanations and the Vinyogas for Karanas are given only by Abhinava Bharati. Then we have Sangeeta Ratnakara, which also gives the 108 Karanas in a different order, in a different, some more Vinyogas added. Nritta Ratnavali with Vinyogas, Sangeeta Muktavali, of course, with Vinyogas. All these have at least 2 or 3 shlokas per Karana. And thus, these Deshi Karanas are also mentioned in all these texts. They are the Karanas known as Anchita Karana, Alaga Karana, Uppluti Karana, Brahmari Karana, which we have now as Paichal Adavu, Sutral Adavu. We also use the term, Sanskrit term, Uppluti Adavu, Brahmari Adavu. Also we say that also. And we also use the term Paichal Adavu, Sutral Adavu in Tamil also. So these Deshi Karanas match the movements of many of the present day Adavus. And thus the Marga Karanas are separated and the Deshi Karanas are separated and given. And finally, he gives about the deep definitions about the Sabha, Samajika, Sabhapati, and the seating of the orchestra. And here he mentions that the orchestra is on the right side of the dancer. So it is a later period. Bharata's orchestra is different. That is for a Natya. This is more for a Nritya or Nritta. And finally, he moves on to Vritti, the 4 Vrittis in a very, very capsule form, and also the Rasa, the 8 Rasas in the subsection called Rasa Nirnaya in a very, very, very simple and a capsule form. And thus ends with a shloka which praises all the munis, starting from Dattila, Kohala, Matrugupta, Vishakila, and so on. And finally, the Mangala shloka on Lord Paramashiva. Thus, this text is again a text to be worked upon and to be connected with the present day dance form. Because it is of Vijayanagara period, we can also find some sculptures which can be seen in present day temple sculptures also. And I would like to say just a short conclusion where we have many works have been written on dance so far from the past 2000 years. Scholars have contributed a lot from their side to preserve the tradition and provide the technical details of the regional dance forms. As far as dance is concerned, lots of changes have been taken place. Many forms and terms seen in Natya Shastra are now preserved and practiced in present day dance forms. Of course, some are not seen and some have a completely different name from the point of view of Bharata's Lasyanga. If you see Lasyanga, it's a best example. Bharata's Lasyanga, completely different from the Desi Lasyangas. Of course, in Sangeeta Muktavali, there is not a mention about the Deshi Lasyangas. And so many of the subjects or the topics are not in mention. And thus, although many of the dance works on regional languages bear Sanskrit names and appear just as a continuation or amplification of older material, some dance texts differ and some integrate in their opinion. Some of these texts helps us in understanding the Marga technique tradition, but some mislead the readers and by using the same technical terms for different forms. That is what I told, like in Lasyanga or also Mandala. Mandalas of Natya Shastra completely different from mandalas of Abhinaya Darpana and later texts. Of course, mandalas does not be are not mentioned later. Deshi mandalas are not mentioned here in this later some texts. So thus, but as far as dance scholars are concerned, these texts have helped them a lot in knowing the theoretical and technical aspects of their performances and for the revival of the old Margi tradition and in the comparison of the present Deshi tradition of their own dance form. Might be the classical regional forms like Bharatanatyam, Manipuri, Mohiniyattam, Kathakali or Odissi or anything for that matter. Or even the forms such as regional forms such as Deshi forms, folk forms such as Kolatam, the Dandalasya, the Dandiya Ras, and the Garba form, the Chow form, which has many Angika aspects which are seen in Natya Shastra, similar movements, and the other forms, Yakshagana, Terukuttu, and so on. Thus, we are able to relate ourselves through these texts, which have been there for so many centuries earlier and later. And it is our duty to preserve these texts and take it to the next generation and also have the theory and practice both in a parallel way and teach the present upcoming generation. Thank you all for staying and hearing my talk, and thank you once again for all the scholars who have assembled here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I thank KSRA for giving me this wonderful opportunity. As ma'am told, I've been coming to KSRA when I started my MPhil. From that time and also during the PhD, I was always there working on the text, and I still want to study more. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Very well done.
Dr. Kaveshwari?
Yes. Do we go for a vote of thanks? Or is there going to be any question or something? Do we have time? I think it is 7:10. Yes, KSB?
Hello, Subrata.
Hello.
Salama, sir.
Excellent, excellent, eloquent, informative.
Very nice, very nice.
In-depth study of Natya Shastra. Very good.
Thank you so much. Always helpful to you all. Thank you, sir.
Very well done, Dr. Sujata.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
nice travel through the centuries, from the 2nd century BC or even Rigvedic times
Yes,
to
ma'am.
till modern times.
Yes.
I have just one doubt. You talked about Devanacharya 15th century, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Devanacharya, yeah. And you also talked about Tulaja's Sangita Samayasara, right?
Yes.
All these people are not Tamilians. One is a Marathi, one is an Andhra man.
Yes.
Then do we have all these styles imbibed into Bharatanatyam? Like Kuchipudi or Marathi dance style? I know only Lavani. Is there anything else for Marathis? Any specific? Do we have them all mixed here?
Yes. According to my guru's research, this Natya Shastra, of course, all these texts have been prevalent in the whole
Of India.
India, yeah. And all the classical forms, for that matter, even in Kuchipudi, we have the forms of Natya from Natya Shastra. And in Mohiniyattam, in Manipuri, we have so many hastas, the Nritya hastas, which are similar to the Nritya hastas of Natya Shastra. But of course, they have their own name. And finally, when we started reading Natya Shastra, now we have found out our base in Natya Shastra, and we have connected our hasta to Pataka of Natya Shastra.
Okay.
Connected our Chaturashra to Bharatanatyam. So that is how we have found our source in Natya Shastra.
Okay, great.
And
so you had, yes?
There are many forms of folk also, which have, but this Perani, Trenkani are all not in vogue now.
Do we have the reflection of Tamil folk tradition in today's performance or in these texts?
In these texts, yeah, there are some, that's what I told you. In Telugu, we have the Antar Brahmari, Bhagya Brahmari, Utplutis, all these are there. The Chakra Chuttu, in and the Yakshagana, we have the Mandala, the Mandalas which are performed as they enter. Same, it is there in Telugu also. So these are all the forms which have a mention in the Deshi Charis and Mandalas in these texts. We cannot, that's what, we cannot match and tell that this is that, but there are traces.
Okay, very good, very nice.
If we can find out also, we don't have any proof. For the Karanas, there were proofs in temples, and the temple sculptures have the name of the Karana, Sanskrit shloka written in Grantham of the Karana. But for the Charis, we have only the movements, and there is no any inscription found. So we cannot have the proof.
Okay, no evidence at all.
No evidence.
No
Even
evidence.
when I tried to give the Gati for Shakuntalam, I was asked to give it from the commentary of Raghav Bhatta. But I found only one or two hastas in Raghav Bhatta's commentary, especially the Sandhi, Sandhyangas were all there, and literary side it was there. Maybe the practice was not there, or practice was not documented.
True, probably, yes.
That is how it is.
It was a nice lecture, very well prepared, and I followed the clock. I found that for every section you had taken exactly 15 minutes.
Oh.
Exactly 15 minutes. That was very nice. You had given the history, traced the history of Natya from the beginning on the Lakshana side and the Lakshya side, and you had come to Sangeeta Muktavali of 15th century. You had given the Rasadrishti, Bhavadrishti, Angas, Thanas, Charis, and then Vyayamas, Gatipedas, and Karana Viniyogas also. In that you said there are also Desi Karanas. Desi Karanas do they get into the 108 Karanas, or are they beside that?
No, after that, 108 are everybody, every scholar accredit Bharata for that Marga Karana, and
Okay.
they give their own names. If we
But
do a research,
these Desi Karanas are entirely different from the 108 Karanas when they are performed, is it?
not that, only in
That
the
is
name.
what. That is what.
Some are
Only the
similar
names.
in names, some are similar in methodology also. And
Okay.
there is commonness between the Sangeeta Ratnakaras Deshi Karana and Rita Ratnavali's Deshi Karana and
And
Sangeeta
Bharatas.
Muktavali's Deshi Karana. There
Okay.
is common also.
Okay.
Because even in Bharatanatyam we do some movement similar to that of Mohiniyattam. Like that, there are some commonness between
So you
them.
have traced all of this and very well done. And we had Dr. Raghavan and Dr. Janaki specializing in these fields
Yes.
like Ukropakas and Nritya Prabandha they have written.
Yes.
And Natya Dharmi and Loka Dharmi is another article written by Dr. Raghavan. So
Yes.
there are so many things that they have done. Also, I think they should have helped you when you were doing your thesis also.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of
Yes.
course, about all these Upurupakas, I only studied from Dr. Raghavan's
Yes.
work sources. And
And do
all
you
these
also touch upon Sringara Prakasha?
Huh?
Do you also touch upon Sringara Prakasha? Yes.
Yeah, that is again a voluminous work. So I
Yes.
have to work on that in a different way.
Yes. So very well done. I think the session was this talk between you and myself also had been, I think, something beneficial to the hearers. I thank you very much for taking pains to prepare the paper and present it in a very, very interesting manner. Thank you very much. And I also thank the audience who have been patient enough to hear this, sit and hear this, and the donors, Mrs. Sariyu Srinivasan and Mrs. Nandini Ramani, who had been instrumental in making this endowment come to function 25 years ago. And I thank everybody, and I wish you all a good night. See you all.
Thank you. Namaste.
Next, only one thing. Next Saturday, we are going to have a lecture on Bhasa Ramayana plays by Mrs. Lalita under D. Ramakrishna Endowment. 6 o'clock next Saturday, that is 30th of January. So I request all of you to join.
And today we have our president, Dr. R.K. Raghavan, amidst us. Welcome to you, sir. Thank you very much for participating. We will meet you next Saturday. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.